During World War II, winter was, honestly, often deadlier than bullets. Across Europe, Asia, and even parts of North America, families faced freezing temperatures, fuel shortages, food rationing, and, well, total infrastructure collapse. Central heating was rare, electricity was unreliable, and supply chains were just shattered. Yet, millions survived, using ingenious low-tech survival methods that have, largely vanished from modern memory. These were not luxury solutions. They were desperate practical systems, really refined under pressure. And today, as energy costs rise and climate extremes increase, these forgotten World War II winter survival methods may be more relevant than ever. One-room living, heating the body, not the house. One of the most widespread wartime survival strategies was, actually, consolidated living. Instead of trying to heat an entire home, which was an impossible task with rationed coal or firewood, families retreated into a single room. This warm room became the center of life. Cooking, sleeping, studying, and socializing all happened in one insulated space. Doors were sealed with cloth or paper, windows covered with thick curtains or cardboard, and unused rooms were completely shut off. This dramatically reduced heat loss and fuel consumption. The lesson was simple: heat people, not empty space. Layered clothing indoors, wearing the warmth. Modern people, usually associate heavy clothing with being outdoors, but World War II families knew better. Wool sweaters, scarves, hats, and even gloves were worn inside the house. Wool was especially prized because it kept warmth even when it was damp. Families layered thin garments rather than relying on just one heavy coat, trapping warm air between layers. Children slept in their daytime clothes, sometimes under coats to conserve precious blankets. It wasn't discomfort, it was really just survival physics. Bed warming techniques that saved lives. Nights were the most dangerous time. Hypothermia often struck while people slept. To combat this, families used bed warming methods that needed no electricity. Hot water bottles or heated bricks wrapped in cloth, cast iron pans warmed on stoves and placed near feet, and sometimes multiple people sleeping in the same bed to share body heat. In some regions, straw mattresses were used because straw trapped air better than thin cotton padding. These methods dramatically reduced nighttime deaths during extreme cold. Fuel stretching and alternative heat sources became, a daily reality. Coal and firewood were tightly rationed, forcing families to get creative about making every bit of fuel last. Fires were lit only at specific times of day, and ashes were reused to insulate embers overnight, helping to coax a little more warmth from what was left. Small stoves replaced fireplaces to maximize efficiency. Out in rural areas, people turned to peat, dried animal dung, and even crop waste as emergency fuels. The smoke was often unpleasant, but, honestly, warmth meant survival. Some families even cooked just once per day, using the same fire to heat food, water, and the living space all at once. Thermal food, eating for heat, not taste, became the norm. Calories were, in a way, winter armor. During World War II, families shifted their diets toward high-fat, high-carb foods whenever possible. Soups, stews, and porridges dominated meals, since they provided warmth, hydration, and slow-burning energy. Animal fats, lard, and butter, things we might avoid today, were absolutely essential back then. A spoon of fat before bed could actually help the body maintain temperature through the night. And, hot drinks weren't just luxuries, they were tools for getting through the cold. 6. Window and wall insulation hacks. Glass was a major enemy. Broken or thin windows leaked heat rapidly. Families improvised insulation using cardboard, newspaper, fabric, and wood panels. Some folks layered newspaper between panes or even nailed boards over windows entirely, relying on oil lamps or candles for light. Walls were lined with rugs or tapestries, an ancient technique rediscovered out of necessity. 7. Community survival networks. Perhaps the most overlooked method was cooperation. Families shared fuel, food, clothing, and information. Elderly neighbors were rotated into warmer homes. Children were grouped together at night to reduce heating needs. In many villages, survival was not individual. It was collective. Why these methods were forgotten. After the war, modern heating, cheap energy, and convenience erased these practices. They became symbols of hardship rather than wisdom. But, today's world is changing. Energy insecurity, grid failures, extreme winters, and economic strain are making these primitive solutions relevant again, not as fear tactics but as resilience knowledge. These methods kept millions alive without technology, and honestly, they still work. World War II winter survival secrets that saved millions and why they're still relevant today.